Yes, hello everyone. Pleased to be here. Thank you for the invitation. So it's easy to enter because I come from the landowner organization. So why would I say that protecting nature is against landowner interests? Um, let's go back to the countryside. Maybe once we did a tour in the cities. As you probably know, you know that more than a majority of land in Europe is owned by private people, private landowner, private manager. At ELO, we are representing a diversity of land use. So the previous panel was very relevant in that sense because we are all covering all those aspects of forestry management. We are forest owners, we are farmers, but we are also conservationists because we have projects for biodiversity related aspect, but also cultural heritage. So it's a diversity of land use that is really important. It's at the core of our day-to-day work. So prejudice, of course, very easy. I mean, we living with the prejudice for a long time. We are a Brussels-based organization, but of course, when we say I'm representing landowners, what comes to your mind? Rich people that probably owning stuff, but they don't really care. They just care about the economic aspect of it, okay? So of course, we had to debunk a lot of prejudice about who we are and who we are representing. So just for a matter of importance, we are representing big, average, and small landowners because the European landscape is very diverse from one country to another. Also, the political contest has driven a different way of land ownership in Europe. So we are living with this reality. And so the way we were perceived, like let's say 20 years ago, is no more valid. And I can tell from the work we are doing on now on a regular basis, is really dealing with a lot of how we make sure that what private landowners and managers are doing on the ground is known and recognized. Because basically, as you can imagine, the land users are relying on their nature. They don't want to destroy the nature they have. Why would they do that? So of course, things are evolving, changing. They're also facing new paradigms that they need to take into account in their management, and they don't know everything, of course. With the climate change, things are changing fast, and indeed they are really fearing, and they need support facing this new reality. We do a lot of projects. We are involved in almost 30 EU projects. It goes from soil, so a lot of research on soil, pollinator-related projects, but also land conservation aspects. And we are at the forefront of what we call the private land conservation. And this is something it's very much at the heart of our policy, is showing that there is a place for private actors, private manager, to come up with conservation solutions. We have plenty of good examples. We've been involved in a lot of live projects. You know, live projects are projects related to biodiversity management, protection of habitats and fauna and flora. We started in Flanders with this really small project with wetlands, etc., restoration. And since then we have building, and we are having like the third live project, and it's called ENPLC. You will have the details, and it's on how we incentivize a private manager to get into contracting with whoever. It could be an authority, a trust, because we are really taking the example of America that are doing those conservation easements. That's something we would really like to promote at EU level, but of course, taking into account the specificity of EU. We are not United States. Our cultural landscape is very, very different, but we would like that we take as a model this idea of the private initiative. It's really important. What is really also important and sometimes creating a bit of a tension is this idea of having a business model behind everything we do. Because we are manager, we are entrepreneurs, and the way we are living is very much embodied in the territory where we are living in. And they see themselves as entrepreneurs that are giving jobs, giving possibility of others to live in. and they very much need the business solution behind everything. And I think in 20 years, it was very creating tension because we were working in silos. And I can tell you the origin of ELO, it's because the origin is about conflict with national authorities and European authorities when Natura 2000 was created and the Habitat Directive was coming into force. A lot of land managers were not understanding why they were to imply some elements they were not knowing about. They didn't know, it was not relevant for them, okay? And so it showed very much that we were very distant from each other. We were not talking to each other, being authorities, but nature authorities, being other kind of green NGO, being other scientists. I think this silo is still very relevant. So what we came from is a conflicting background to a really not much more, let's say, really a confident ecosystem where the ELO is involved in every kind of discussion at all EU level, national level, on carbon farming, carbon removal, soil management, forest management, etc. And this has been built with discussion, confrontation, sometimes agreeing not to agree. I think it's really important, and what was said in the previous panel is really important. I think we need to talk to the people that are on the ground. Of course, having a variety of interests maybe in their mind that is maybe different from what we come from. But I think this is the message here. And then you can imagine, you'll see my slide later, it's not that important, but of course we need environmental economics with sustainable business. We need cooperation, education, incentive, and demonstrate the practical benefits of what we are promoting. Here are some relevant literature, and of course protecting nature is in landowner interests. Thank you.